For the second straight season, Vermont men's lacrosse opens its season against Syracuse. Some things have changed, but much has stayed the same. There's 30 minutes before opening face-off. Plenty of time to break it all down. Tyler Eakin, AJ Myers with you. And AJ, season opener for Vermont. Syracuse played a game last weekend against Jacksonville, and it went very well for the Orange.
Exactly how Gary Grate's group wanted to start out the season. Second best team in the country, and they showed why.
Syracuse started this game hot. At least that was the intention. Syracuse didn't score for the first 7 minutes of its season opener against Vermont last season. Today, Michael Leo wanted to change that with an aggressive goal 30 seconds in. No, it was actually saved by Ryan Delarocco. He played through an injury for much of the rest of that game. You have to imagine that made an impact.
Yeah, this was a huge storyline throughout the game because he was clearly not at 100%.
And that meant Luke Roa was in good position to make this diving goal with his knees on the ground. No SportsCenter top 10 on that, AJ?
I don't know how, Tyler. I've seen that goal 10 times now, and I still can't believe it. Every time it gets better and better.
Well, the offense stayed aggressive. Plenty of passing set up Owen Hiltz for a beautiful goal. All of a sudden, it was 6-0 Syracuse going into the second quarter.
Yeah, Syracuse offensive dominance, exactly how you want to start off a new season. Get out to a big lead in the opening quarter.
And that big lead was without Michael Leo, who probably finished the day with the best stat line for SU.
Yeah, 4 goals for Michael Leo. I thought he was brilliant in this one, looked really aggressive going forward, and he was super clinical in front of cage.
He had back-to-back in the second quarter. You saw a nice save there by Jimmy McCool. Although Jacksonville did find the back of the net to score its second goal at the end of the half, McCool, not much experience, a lot of talent.
No, I thought he looked pretty comfortable. There was a few shaky moments maybe early on, but I thought he grew into the game really nicely.
And it was pretty easy with the ball staying on the Syracuse offense's end. So much of this game, goal after goal after goal, everyone was getting involved.
Yes, Tyler, it was an offensive explosion from the Orange, really showing their depth and the quality that this team has.
And everybody was getting involved. Like I said, Peyton Anderson working one-on-one behind cage, comes around, he scores his first career goal. And then in the fourth quarter, Gavin Gibbs rode the pine a lot last year. He makes it 23-3, and the final score 24-5. Syracuse's largest win since the Holy Cross season opener all the way back in 2022.
Yeah, Tyler, and what really jumps out to me is 12 different goal scorers and 18 players had a shot on goal. That really just shows the depth and quality that this team has.
Well, 12 different goal scorers, but Syracuse, you think of Joey Spallina. That's the one guy you think of. He had 3 goals and 2 assists. A very strong day from the preseason All-ACC player, AJ.
Yeah, Joey Spallina, he's going to have another great year. He had a great season last year, but I think this team is not all about Joey Spallina. They're not the second best team in the country solely because of Spallina. And don't get me wrong, he is a fantastic player. There's a reason why he's on the Touraton watch list right now, Spallina. But he draws so much attention from defenses, it allows other players on this Syracuse team to get involved, like Michael Leo, like Luke Roa, or Finn Thompson. Yes, Spallina's a great player, Tyler, but he's not all about Spallina. There's other players on this team that have just as much quality.
The question is, can he help this team make the jump, finally get to the Final Four for the first time of the Joey Spallina era? He's trying to change some things up. He's sporting that new mullet, maybe to change the mojo. I don't know.
Right when I saw him, that's the first thing I saw. I kind of like it. I think it rocks with him, but he's going to have another great year. He's such a good player, and he always makes smart decisions. He's never making wrong decisions when he's going forward, and I mean, anytime he gets in front of cage, it's almost a guarantee that it could go in.
All right, well, that's enough Joey Spallina talk because I brought him up, and it didn't even sound like you wanted to talk to him because it sounded like you just wanted to talk about all the other great offensive weapons the Orange have. And to be fair, there's plenty of them.
Yeah, you can't go undermine. This team has such good depth. There's so many quality players on the team. Michael Leo had 4 goals. Owen Hiltz had 2. Luke Roa had a hat trick. So many guys on this team have the ability to be great goal scorers. You don't have to solely rely on Joey Spallina just getting, 4 or 5 or even 6 goals. Other guys on this team could also score, and they showed it against Jacksonville.
Although you did mention it a little bit earlier, the magnetism that Joey Spallina has certainly opens things up for the rest of the team. When he's got 2 defenders with their eyes on him, that usually does mean someone's open. But if they're open, they still have to convert. And there's so many guys on this roster that can step up when given that opportunity. And you saw that against Jacksonville.
Yeah, and here are 3 key ones. If you want to say they're Joey Spallina's wingmen, here they are. These 3 guys are going to need to have big games time and time again for Syracuse, and especially against an improved Vermont team. It's a step up from Jacksonville. They're going to need to put up similar numbers if Syracuse wants to get the win.
It was an impressive offensive outing. 24 goals is no joke, but holding a pretty solid offense to 5 goals is also very good. And Syracuse's defense, which returns a lot from last year, did its part.
Yeah, we talked about how the offense needed to get out to a good start. So too did the defense, and I did just that. I was really impressed by this defense. Just 2 shots on goal in the first quarter from Jacksonville. That's really impressive. And Tyler, I think this defense is led by Billy Dwan. He's another one of those Tewaaraton watch list guys. He's going to be the anchor and leader on this back end for Syracuse if they want to have success this year.
He did so much last year on the defensive end. He even got a few long pole goals at times last year.
He can do it all.
Feels like he can do a little bit of it all. Don't forget about Carter Rice, the short stick defensive midfielder. He's also a preseason All-ACC selection. But you look at the numbers against Jacksonville. What's particularly exciting, 9 caused turnovers. Syracuse was last in the ACC in that stat last year.
Yeah, that's big. And I also look at 20 turnovers from Jacksonville. That shows how aggressive Syracuse's defense was, and they're going to want to do something similar against the Catamounts today.
All right, so we've talked the offense, we've talked the defense, but how about special teams, goalie? How about faceoffs? That's an area where Syracuse has seen a lot of changes. Will Mark, the goalie, left after last year, no more eligibility. Mason Cohn, one of the 2 faceoff specialists from last year, he ran out of eligibility, and so now step up Jimmy McCool and John Mullen.
Yeah, I thought Jimmy McCool in net looked pretty solid against Jacksonville. Maybe a little rough patches early on, but I thought he played really well. And Tyler, remember, he came in against Duke last season and made 6 saves. So he's been in big situations before. He had 9 saves against Jacksonville. Vermont's an improved team. Will Mark had to make 12 saves last year against this Vermont side. So this will definitely be a step up for McCool, and it'll be interesting to see how he handles it.
He's had a lot of chatter around him that he has a lot of talent. Now he finally gets to prove it with Mark gone.
Yeah, and Johnny Mullen, another guy who I think proved himself last year. He had 18 face-off wins against Towson in the NCAA tournament. And when Syracuse, they scored 34 goals off of Mullen's face-off wins last year. If he's winning face-off, Syracuse is winning games.
It would be disingenuous to say that Mullen is all of a sudden the starting Fogo. He was right in that role with Mason Cohn for most of last year, and at the end of the season, it was pretty much his job, and so he's continuing in that. McCool really has to make a little bit more of a leap in production.
Definitely. I think McCool definitely has more to prove, and if he starts to make some mistakes, there'll definitely be more pressure on him, but both of these guys looked really comfortable against Jacksonville. That's what you want to see in the first game of the season.
It's what you want to see, and now it's time to learn about the characters for Vermont. Who's going to try to stop Joey Spallina? Who's going to try to score on Jimmy McCool? You can find out right after a short break.